The top right side of the Type Report tab is where you type your report. Text that is gray cannot be edited. The tutor only detects text written in the final diagnosis and microscopic sections. You type your report much as you would in a word processor, and your goal is to create a complete final pathology report for the case you're viewing. As you type, the system tries to extract useful information from your report. The text you type will turn different colors. These colors have important meanings. So let me type a couple of things to demonstrate that for you. So now, as you can see, different things are different colors. And you can also see it up here with what was carried over from the Make Diagnosis tab. Some things turn blue, some stay black, and some turn red. So let me explain what these different colors mean. Black text means that it is something that is not recognized as important by the system. This could be words such as the, which do not have any importance to the overall content. So as you can see, and stayed black, are stayed black, these words just are not important to the overall content of the report. Black text can also be items that do not hold any prognostic value for a given case, such as solar keratosis. However, it can also be things that are important to include in your report but are simply not understood by the system and need to be reworded. Blue text, as you see, most of my text here is blue. Blue text means it is something that is important to include in your report and the system recognized it. So you'll want there to be a good number of blue items in your report. So as you can see, the system understood that I said it's superficial spreading melanoma, that it's in situ and invasive. It understands that I said Clark's level. It understood I'm saying the level is 4. And it understands the feature deep margins. Now for red text, any text that turns red means that there's a mistake in your report based on recommendations from the CAP checklist as well as information the expert dermatopathologist included in their final report. A message appears in the message area in red. As you see, it's telling me that involved is not the right status for deep margin. Error messages can also be viewed by mousing over the text, and you'll get the same message that way. Now, if there's a mistake in your report that you feel should not need to be fixed, you can ignore the mistake by using the Ignore Mistakes option. If you right-click on a mistake, you get several options, and one of them is Ignore Mistakes. So if you select that, you'll get a pop-up window where you can rate your frustration. There's a frustration meter up here. And you can also type in comments explaining why you are ignoring the mistake. Okay, now this is just an example to demonstrate. But again, if you think that the tutor is telling you there's a mistake that you actually feel is not true, you think what you're saying is really right, you can go ahead and ignore mistakes if you wish. But again, for the colors, it's important to understand what the different colors mean. Blue text means it's something the tutor recognized as important and it understood it. Black text means it's something the tutor did not understand as being important to the report. And red text means there's an error. There's a mistake associated with that item. Now there are some features in the tutor that make it work much like a word processor. For example, you can cut, copy, and paste text. To do that, you would simply highlight whatever text you want to cut or copy. So just use your mouse to highlight whatever text you want to be cutting or copying, and then right click on it, and as you can see, you get cut, copy, and paste options. So I'll select cut by clicking on it, and as you see, now the text is gone. And then you want to just move your cursor down to where you want to paste the text. So I'll click down beneath deep margins, that's where I want to move it, and now I'll right click my mouse and I'll choose paste, and as you can see, the tutor pasted it for me. You can also use the keyboard shortcuts to cut, copy, and paste text. There's also a spell checker to provide spelling suggestions. If you mistype something, as you see, I'll just mistype a word. And as you see, it gets underlined in red, kind of like how you would see in a regular word processor. So you can see what words are misspelled just by looking for the red underlining. Now if I right click on that term, as you can see, I get a bunch of spelling suggestions for that word. So you can spell check that way, just checking individual words by right clicking on the word. However, you can also spell check the entire report by clicking the spell check button over here. So if I click on that, the tutor will go through each of my misspellings one by one and provide suggestions for me. You can use the ignore, change, and cancel buttons as you wish. But again, you can just click whatever suggestion you want to be changing it to. So I'll click that one, and I'll click the change button. And as you see, when the tutor is done going through all of your spelling errors, it'll tell you that the spell check is done.